Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I put the links below for these two products we have from 18. Well, I don't know about this particular one, but this company was truly founded in 1830. It's William Bellows, and this is their Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, aged 4 years, bottled in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri, by Luxco. But if it's Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, it's not made in Missouri. It's bottled in Missouri. It's produced in Kentucky. Age, they don't say age. Mellowed 4 years in oak barrels, but that's age. It has to be aged at least 2 years to be Kentucky Straight Bourbon, but it's aged 2 years longer. Or as they say in the Jim Beam commercial, age 4 long years. This is age 4 long years also. And let's see, anything else? A name of honor. And that's it. And oh, yeah, it's a liter bottle. Not a 750. No, an entire liter of bourbon. And another thing about this, I got about 52%, no, 55% of it left. I paid $5.99, true story. $5.99 for a liter of Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. I bought it at Savannah discount. No use going over there trying to find it now, because at that price, you know it didn't last, and it sure did not. Now here's the competitor. A sour mash Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, aged only 3 years, but a year longer than the minimum. Ancient age 10-star Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. There's a write-up on that side. There's a write-up on that side if you want to read like their little mini essay about Buffalo Trace. I've only seen this bottle once in my life. Well, I saw it twice in my life, actually. I saw it on the shelf at Bonita Plaza Liquors in Meridian, Mississippi, and it was 15 bucks. It might have been 15 after tax, I'm thinking. It was like actually less than 15, but whatever, I can't remember. So let's say 15. And I said, oh, well, I know Ancient Age is $9.99. Let me just find it later for cheaper. Well, I checked around other stores in Louisiana and never saw it. So the next year, like 2019, when I went back to Bonita Plaza Liquors, yeah, I said, it might have been 2020. Okay, I'll get my dates mixed up. But whatever the case, no, I think I'm right. 2018, then 2019. I went back and I was like, nah. I better get it, because I've never seen it since, and I'm scared I'll never see it again. And I never did. It's the only place I've ever seen this product, at that liquor store on Mississippi Highway 19, northbound, just south of Interstate 59/Interstate 20. Okay, so I mean, you can wait around, but when you find something like this, you better buy it, because chances are you won't see it again. I'm an hour late because we sprang forward with the sickening daylight savings time. And people are telling me, well, you get extra daylight in the evening. I was like, you don't really get extra daylight in the evening. They're just manipulating the time, you see. And it's not supposed to be dark at 6:30 something a.m. All right. So I don't know what this fixation is, but you can't, people got their own opinions, right? I put that on the Book of Faces. I was like, get rid of masks and get rid of daylight savings time. And some people were like, it was funny because all the people that wanted to keep daylight savings time also thought that people needed to, wear it and wash your hands and stay away from people so that we don't all die. We're all gonna die. I'm so afraid. I'm so very afraid. And I call it the Great Fear. And it's amazing that you can manipulate people into being so fearful of something that's so rare, really ordinary, People say it's not the same because you're coughing and you have chills and you have a slight fever. This is not normal. I'm like, you never got sick before with a fever and a cough? I have. But anyway, people are dying, man. They're dying, man. It's true. They die all the time. But anyway, let's get off of that because I don't really want to talk about the latest scam, The Bellows is lighter and the Ancient Age is darker. So Ancient Age is sour mash and it's darker and it's higher proof, okay? Ethan says, it's the end of the world as we know it, laughing out loud. It really is because I'm not here to preach to y'all. Believe what they tell you. Go ahead, believe it. That's the same people that told you that Germany was going to invade the United States in 1941, Then they got Star Trek episodes. If they had won the war and they got the National Socialist soldiers, German soldiers, patrolling Washington, D.C. and all that, it's like, right, they're going to invade America. But they can't make it across a 28-mile English Channel. Can't make it across a 28-mile English Channel. I might say that a third time. They couldn't make it across a 28-mile English Channel, but they're going to sail 3,000 miles across the ocean and land at Virginia Beach or Coney Island, with their huge army and take over America. I find that argument unconvincing. With a navy, the great German Navy, the Kriegsmarine, almost as strong as Italy's Navy, almost as strong. The great Italian Navy that was beat to a pulp by France and England. With not a whole lot of effort, actually, I might add. You say, but look how strong Germany's Navy was. That's right. They went out to fight a couple of times and got killed. They got whipped so bad. They got beat so very badly. You say, what about the submarine, the U-boat? Well, see, that's different because that's what we call, what's the term for that? You understand, warfare. Where you use different things to gain an advantage. I can't think of the name. All right. Asymmetrical warfare. Sorry. Asymmetrical warfare. Their Navy is like this. It's so big I can't fit it on the screen. Your Navy is like this. So you use asymmetrical warfare. Hit and run attacks, wolf pack, raids, and whatnot. But still, they still failed. I mean, the British Navy was able to devise certain strategies in order to deal with the situation. Okay. Now, I suppose Bellows is using asymmetrical warfare also because they are a small company owned by Luxco. They have no money to advertise. You're never going to see a Bellows bourbon whiskey commercial on TV. So what do? They price their stuff at nearly cost. $5.99 a liter. Well, I don't even think it's that cheap. I think Savannah Discount's got some kind of, I don't know what's going on over there, but I'm not going to complain because I get stuff for so cheap. I mean, to buy a $46 bottle of scotch, that's the cheapest I saw it. Now, I saw it for $46 somewhere. Chivas Regal Mitsunara, aged in finished in Japanese oak, or some of it is finished in Japanese oak. But yet, Savannah Discount had it for $17.99. Now the price is going up. You can get it for $18.99 there. So that doesn't make sense. Like everybody's selling it for $46, $48, even $54. But you got it for $17.99. Now, I don't know how that works. So if you went to a store and found Bellows straight bourbon whiskey, it would probably be more like $8.99, $9.99 for a liter. That's still ridiculously cheap for a straight bourbon whiskey. Now, of course, I got the price $5.99. That's an example of asymmetrical, not warfare, of course, it's liquor competition. But still, it's an example of that strategy. When you're weaker, you have to use more creativity. See, so you do that. Joe Farrell says, look who's up bright and early. Howdy, cowboy. Yep, howdy to you. Tanks World says, hello there. Hello to you. He's in merry old England, I do believe. I'm sorry, the United Kingdom of Lockdown. They don't call it, they used to call it a different name. But they got Boris Karloff as the prime minister, so they that's what they do. That's what they call it, the United Kingdom of Lockdown. I'm pretty sure they changed the name. I think I read that somewhere. All right. Anyway, endeavor to persevere. I'm criticizing the United Kingdom of Lockdown, and this is sort of like Louisiana lockdown. There were people are still running around with their theatrical props to protect themselves. I'll say, oh, the fantasy world in which people live. You say, you're part of that world. I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm in it, but I'm not of it. I wore the theatrical props myself just to get along with this madness. They made a movie about what's going on now. It's called It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. Came out in 1963. Pretty much not really fiction. All right. Sort of like a documentary in a way. I could taste the fumes. I think, well, let's see. All right, Bellows. It is not remarkable. You're not going to drink this bourbon and think, wow, it's going to change the way I think about bourbon or whiskey. No. No, it won't. It'll just kind of be ordinary. But this is very important. There's no off flavors and no off aromas. So even though it's plain Jane, regular, ordinary, just, well, what you say, run of the mill. It's just nothing special. I'm trying to think of what to say. So, but for $5.99 a liter, you got to take that into account. Because usually when you're paying such a low price, there'd be something wrong with it. You think, oh, ooh, terrible, horrible, but it isn't that way. Now, Ancient Age, $15. I'm not going to say it's anything special either. It isn't. No, it isn't. But it does very well. Look what happened when I put it up against Blanton's. $60 a bottle, if you're lucky, if you find it. I have a friend, he's on a waiting list. He's starting to get aggravated. He said, I'm not going to beg these people to buy their whiskey. You know, he's like, when they're going to sell it? I said, look, I cannot control what stores do. You put your name on a waiting list and they're not calling you, but they're not calling anybody. I asked the person again, oh, I'm waiting. I said, look, I don't know what to tell you. If you find it somewhere else, buy it. Wouldn't make any difference to me. But go and see what happened in that Blanton's showdown with Ancient Age. They both from the same distillery, Buffalo Trace. That was an honest review. It was not staged. I didn't pre-plan it. I had no axe to grind. I had no favorites. I didn't care, especially since I didn't pay for the Blantons. I didn't pay $60 for the Blantons. Somebody gave me a nearly full bottle. 95, no, but it was 98% full. She only drank one sample of it, and then she said, I'm giving up drinking. She takes medicine, and so she gave it to me, a woman that I pal around with, so to speak, for the last 24 years. Golly, 24 years, hard to believe. Yeah, it's pretty bad right now, but hopefully in June things might get back to some sort of normal. I feel you, big dog. Yeah, well, they keep stringing people along, you know, a little longer, slaves. And they're kind of like like the Pharaoh in Egypt. You ever read the story of Exodus and the book of Exodus? the Hebrews. They could say, well, let us leave. And the Pharaoh could say, well, okay. Oh, well, let's wait. He had no intention of letting them leave. Smiling and peace. It was a scam and they knew it. All right. So this one smells a little more corn. I don't mean like cornbread, like sourdough bagel. It's hard to describe. So you say, well, a bagel's not made out of corn. It's made out of wheat dough. I realized that. That's why when I use those descriptors, they're not ever really accurate because it's not a bagel. All right. It's not grits. It's whiskey. All right. So you're trying to make approximations in the aroma. You have to, but most people watching these videos have tried sour mash bourbon whiskey or regular bourbon whiskey or blended bourbon whiskey. So they kind of have a conceptuality, a conception of what I'm doing, you see. It's like somebody was saying, well, don't say beer. It has a beer flavor to describe beer. That doesn't help people. And I'm saying, yeah, that's right. Except you're not taking into account about this person that was making the argument. I ended up having to block the person because of his just ruthless criticism, like ridiculous criticism. You know, it's like, okay, I get it. You don't have to tell me 2,000 times you hate my videos. You could have told me once. I'd have believed you. But I said, yeah, you're not thinking the full thought, though, that the people that watch the videos are almost invariably regular beer drinkers. And so they know what I mean, you see. In other words, the person was being pedantic. You know, pointing out little errors or like little technical grammatical things, but that had no true meaning because everybody knew what I was talking about anyway. You know, it's like when you say, can I go to the bathroom? And the teacher says, I don't know, can you? Because you're using the word can incorrectly. You're meaning, may I go to the bathroom? But the point is a pointless point because everyone knows what you mean, you know. Taste time. Don't say it just tastes like bourbon. It does taste like bourbon in the sense that it's a vanilla-ish oak flavor, sweet sugar candy flavor. I don't know, I think bourbon tastes like candy to me. Like, I don't know, corn, candy corn, sweet corn syrup, sugar type candy without the salt. You know what I'm saying? Go get some sweet corn and think of it without salt, and you got there's some charcoal on this, but it's not, I would say, heavy. That blue beer you reviewed looked good. I would love to try it myself, says Tanks World. Y'all don't get Four Loko over there, I would imagine. You probably get things like Four Loko, but Four Loko is, it's not something to play around with. Like, it's sort of like a joke. I mean, we talk about it in a joking manner. It's not really meant to be taken seriously. Even the company doesn't, they don't really take it seriously. You know, they're kind of like, it's Four Loko, you know. And they're sort of like trying to needle people that are like serious beer reviewers. I am a serious beer reviewer. I make video reviews. I am talking about all the intricate features of this Imperial Stout. And you're watching, you're like, oh, give me a break. It's not that serious. This is not theological. You know, it's not theology. It's not examination of power politics or world geopolitical scenarios. You know, you're talking about a stout. And they just go on and on. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let me do you a favor by reviewing this stout. And you're thinking, I could just drink it, you know, and try it myself. It's okay. It's not that great like you're making it out to be. Of course, then if you watch their whole video, they'll talk about, well, it's really not that great. I'll give it an A. I mean, it's tolerable. I paid $17 for a bottle because I'm that awesome. And I was talking to the brewmaster of Conniption Fit Brewing in Salisbury, Connecticut. And we were talking about stouts. And I'm like, yeah, right. Yeah, you were talking to him. Maybe you were, because he only has no distribution. No one ever heard of the dang brewery in the first place. But you know the type. We all know the type. They're on YouTube. I can name some names. I don't need to, because you know what I'm talking about. You say you're not just talking about one person, are you? No, you know I'm talking about like 12 people or more. But you know they would never review Four Loko. Oh, I would never ever lower myself to something like that. But the Four Loko website kind of needles that kind of attitude. You know, they're kind of like sticking a pin and twist. You know what I mean? Like a little. So they're just having fun with it, and you kind of admire that in a way. And for what they do, it's pretty good. I mean, I've been scoring them all an A. But like I say, it's nothing to play around with. 14% alcohol. Oh man. They even kind of allude to that on their Facebook post. They're like, you want to play with fire, come try some Four Loko. It's not really a game. I mean, it could be. It's kind of fun. You drink it, got 24 ounces, but you got to be so careful. It's so powerful. I mean, you say, well, you're drinking bourbon. It's 40 proof. I mean, 80 proof, 90 proof. This is 80 proof. This is 90 proof. Yeah, but look at the amount. I'm not drinking a whole huge bottle of it. So this one is woodier and more deeply charged. So I don't know this. How would I know? They don't disclose any of the information. But I think Bellows is probably using a number 2 char, like a medium char, low medium char. It's just not that heavy. And they're aging it 4 years, so it's taking on some charcoal aspects. But I think the ancient age, since they're only aging it 3 years, I think they're probably using a alligator char, which is the number 4 charge. Like they just burn that barrel, and it's thick charcoal, and it sucks up all that charcoal flavor. And now remember, it's 90 proof, so it's going to hit you a lot harder. Mm-hmm. Yeah, theology is the study of religion. That's right. And some of these guys, mine, it appears that beer is their religion. Like, that's their religion. That's their idol. They worship, like, you say, well, the Egyptians had Horus, Isis. Well, if you go to their altar, they've got Pliny the Elder. But that's the old gods. That's so yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. No, they've got whatever new beer is. I'm sure it's some kind of hazy IPA. Oh, no, those are fading out now, too. Oh, yeah, I don't really like those. But, that's their god. That's their idol. Alcohol is their god, So if you criticize a beer or just say something like, well, I didn't think it was that great. Oh, no, you're banned. You're canceled. Whatever, So another beer we can't get here is Old English. Old English is cider over here. Oh, okay. That's why you can't get it, because it's probably a copyright situation. But I'm sure Molson Coors could come up with some kind of like alternative name for it. They could call it like OE 800. Just don't call it Old English, just OE 800 brand malt liquor and the high gravity 8% malt liquor. I don't see why they couldn't do that. They sell it in Canada, Old English 800 brand strong beer. In Canada, it's just called strong beer, 8%. You can't call it strong beer in America. Oh, no. You're encouraging alcoholism. What are you talking about? You got to call it a malt liquor or a high gravity lager. All these euphemism names. You can't say strong, but they'll have a horse kicking somebody, Colt 45, the kicking horse, or some connotation of strength, It's always got some connotation of strength. Silver thunder, yeah. But of course, country club does not connote that. It's like country club malt liquor. All the good people drink it. Morning again, awesome dude, says Dark Lotus. Oh, thank you. Good morning to you. I tried high gravity side pocket 10.5 the other day here in Oklahoma. I've heard of Side Pocket. If I saw it, I would buy it, but I wouldn't expect too much pleasantness from a 10.5% cheap. You know, they got all these aberrant brands like Axe Head. Ugh. I tried Axe Head once, but no, maybe Minhas has improved it, because it was a nightmare. It was an atrocity of mankind when I had it in 2009. But I think they've improved a lot. So if I saw Axe Head again, I would try it. I would try it again. I'd revisit it. Yes. The body on these is watery. Let's say, or meaning light-bodied, relatively light-bodied. I don't know what to say. I mean, if you like sweet corn, grits, or cornbread and charred oak in a vanilla flavor, and well, yes, a little bit of rye bread. I have to say they both have rye. I think the Ancient Age has a little higher rye, which makes sense because Sazerac, meaning Buffalo Trace, tends to do a little higher rye bourbon. You say, what about wheat? Wheat? No, I wouldn't say that. Now, Buffalo Trace does make some wheated bourbons. Weller is a very interesting wheated bourbon. They don't use rye. They focus on wheat, which will make it more bread dough. Okay. Now, anything else to say? No. I would say that it's not too easy to tell one from the other. Secondly, they're both very good. And thirdly, that would by default mean that Bellows wins, because it is a little cheaper. Even if you pay the normal price, it's still only like $10 or $11 a liter. I paid $5.99. Crazy price. So is the Ancient Age worth $5 more? I wouldn't say so. You say, well, you get 90 proof versus 80. Yeah, if you're into like drinking and feeling the effects and all of that, fine, go ahead. But I'm not. I don't care about that. I'm just into the taste. You say, well, you're going to feel the effects. You're just sipping on it. Well, yeah, common sense would allow that, obviously, but that's not the goal. You see, it's just tasting it. It really is just tasting it. I mean, that's, if my goal was, oh, I want to get lit up. I want to get lit up. Well, then I'll be drinking barrel proof bourbons, 137 proof, 100 proof. But I really don't care for those too much. They're too strong. Kind of turn me off. They're kind of like, ooh. You say, you mean they're disgusting? Yeah, in a way. They have a good flavor, but the whole experience is unpleasant in actuality. If you want to get techno. These two products are very nice. 90 proof is about as high as I like to go. Anything above 90 proof, I don't really like it. I don't hate it, but I'm not looking for that. I'm really a kind of an 80 proof guy. You say, well, because you're skinny. Yeah, I weighed myself this morning, 142.4, something like that. You're skinny and you're a lightweight. You can't handle strong liquor. Yeah, I would agree with that. Which I don't know why that's a problem. It's not a problem, actually. By the way, it was pretty nasty. You're right. Yeah. Side Pocket. I've heard bad stories about that stuff. Anyway, if you're looking to drink bourbon, and I'm never really looking to drink bourbon, I'm not really a bourbon guy. I know that gets me kicked out of all the cool people groups because it's the cool thing, to drink bourbon. All the cool people drink bourbon. And I hear them talking to each other like, oh, yeah, and they're like trying to one-up each other. Well, I tried Old Fitzgerald Cranberry Select Edition. They only made 5 bottles, and my Uncle Jimmy gave me one, and it's $400 a bottle, and I sipped it. It was okay, and then the other one is like, wow, I tried blah 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 blah, and I'm listening to him, and I'm like, oh wow, yippee-ki-yay, motor scooter. But to me, bourbon is fine. I'm not an anti-bourbonite. I'd just rather drink. You say, don't say scotch. Don't say it. Don't say it. All right, I won't say it. I'll just think it. I think, good thing I didn't bring up Canadian whiskey. Oh, no. I think this is the Ancient Age, but I'm not particularly confident in that. It's the American drink, right? I'm a vodka guy myself, says Tank's World. Oh, well, there's a whole vodka world. You know, it's kind of detached from bourbon. I don't think the bourbon people and the vodka people like each other. It's kind of like the Jets and the, what's the other gang? They fight on West Side Story. They don't like each other. You know? It's like the Saskatchewan Rough Riders and the Ottawa Rough Riders. They don't like each other. New York Jets fans never pull for the Giants, and New York Giants fans never pull for the Jets. You know, like, oh, no, no, no. At least by making the rounds through all day styles, you can have a truly objective viewpoint, says Jeep and Foodie. Yeah, I think so. Try all the styles and be open-minded. Have no axe to grind, no attachment to any of the companies. That's the best way because it makes you free and you can just say, well, this one's good. This one's kind of okay. This one's terrible. I haven't really had a terrible bourbon yet. Had some pretty bad blended, though. Anyway, I think this is Ancient Age. Ah, I got it right. Ha, ha, ha. No, don't give me too much credit because I think the Ancient Age is pretty obvious. It's higher proof, and I think it has a heavier char. Now, is it better? Does it taste better? No, I wouldn't say that. I just was able to tell them apart. So I'm still going to say that Bellows wins by virtue of you get a bigger bottle, you don't pay as much, it still tastes pretty good, and you probably can't find it. So you say, what's the point of the video then? Yeah, good question. I don't have a good answer. So William Bellows, there's no housefly on this bottle. The older bottles have a housefly. People say it's a honeybee. If you look at that carefully, it does not look like a honeybee. It looks like a housefly to me. I think somebody pranked Bellows. They said, hey, draw us a honeybee for our bottle label. And they drew a housefly, and they didn't know a lot about insects, so they put it on their labels for all these years. But if you look carefully at this bottle, you probably can't see it over the internet. It's actually a pen and ink drawing in yellow and white. Well, you know, yellow and white's not going to show up. But in the background, it's like a distillery. There's like a water wheel and a river in the woods, and there's a distillery, and there's an old wagon delivering grain. I bet you nobody looks at that. And Ancient Age does very nice. It's a beautiful label. It's like a brilliant burnished gold. Well, daylight has arrived. That's why we did Dawn Busters late. And now I'm going to go walk half a mile. Then I'm going to have some hogshead cheese on crackers, and I'm going to review a beer. I don't know what beer I'm going to do, but someone asked me, could you do Blue Moon Mango Wheat? I said, yes, since you asked for it, I will. I thought I had done it, but I hadn't. And I bought a 12-pack of bottles. And as it turns out, another store had a 12-pack of cans. So I thought, it would be interesting to do bottles and cans, and maybe bottles versus cans, but I doubt there'll be any appreciable difference. Probably no difference, but we'll see. All right, so thanks for watching this video production. The winner is Bellows, and Bellows has been doing so well in all these taste challenges. I gotta say, man, if you ever see Bellows, buy it. And if you see it for $5.99, buy the whole case. I mean, come on. That's unreal, right? $5.99 a liter. Hog's head cheese on crackers. Laughing my fabulous anatomy off. Yeah, hog's head cheese. You know, you go to the store, you can look in the cooler, they have the hog's head cheese. You cut it, you put some hot sauce on it, you eat it on a cracker. Yeah, you get it. Hog's head, not hog's said, hog's head. The head, you know, cut, whatever. Thanks for watching us. Up north, they call it head cheese. Up in Canada, they eat it in Canada, head cheese. We're going to have some head cheese, eh?